Hi, good afternoon. My name is Pando, and today I'm going to talk about the democide. Democide is a general catch-all term used to refer to the murder of people by a government. This can be used to refer to many different types of actions. This type of murder can be inflicted by a government upon its own people, or can be the deeds of those that are parts of another government body. It does not, however, refer to murder of or deeds as a result of military actions or state-sanctioned executions, such as those of a prisoner found guilty by trial. Democide often refers to three distinct forms of murder: genocide, mass murder, and politicide. The term democide is typically used to refer to any actions of murder that is committed or sponsored by a government. More exact definitions of the term can be difficult to establish, since there are many potential gray areas with regard to what constitutes murder and how responsibility of a government is such acts. Military actions, for example, are typically not considered democide, since they are far too numbers or in numbers to provide meaningful information. Similarly, the execution of a prisoner found guilty of a capital offense through a trial is also not typically considered such an action, although this can also be an area of contention. Democide is a concept proposed by Professor Rudolf Rummel to describe the international killing of a unnumbered or discernment person by a government agents acting in their authoritative capacity and pursuant to government policy or high command. Rudolf Rummer explains that democide is the deadliest thing for humankind. It's deadlier than wars, pandemics, and natural disasters. Rudolf Joseph Rommel was a political science and professor at the Indiana University, Yale University, and University of Hawaii. I am mention an example for democide. The first 60,911,000 murdered the Soviet Gulag states. 35,236,000 murdered the Communist Chinese Anhil. 20,946,000 murdered the Nazi genocide states. 10,240,000 the depraved national regiment. 5,964,000 murdered Japan's savage military. 2,035,000 murdered the Khmer Rouge Hell States. 1,993,000 murdered Turkey's genocide purge. 1,607,000 murdered the Vietnamese war states. 1,585,000 murdered Poland's ethnic cleansing. 1,503,000 murdered the Pakistan Qutb state. 1,072,000 murdered Tito's saloon house. These examples is for a democide, genocide, and politicide, and this is the most relevant events in the world. If a single mean government use all, it will be devastating in many aspects. There will be no cultural diversity, migration will be no use, a bad government will lead the world to waste. But focusing only on democide, I think of the example of Adolf Hitler. A hell like his would govern usual things will not be good. We will live in fear. We will not be able to advance as a society. Criticisms of the Genocide Conventions. Although the convention has enjoyed unanimous international support, and although the prohibitions of genocide has become, according to the International Court of Justice, a predetermined norm of international law, the convention has often been citizens for excluding political and social groups from the list of possible victims of genocide. The so-called international cause of the convention's definition of genocide also is problematic. Two of the most common objections are that such intent can be difficult to establish, and that the attempt to assign such intent to individuals makes little sense in modern societies, where violence can result as much from anonymous social and economic force as from individual choices. In support of the first objection, some scholars have noted that governments do not openly admit to committing genocide acts. The Iraq regime of Saddam Hussein, for example, portrayed its use of chemical warfare against the court in the 90s, in the 90s, in the 80s, and further established law and order. And the Ottoman Associates, the Turkish government asserted that the Armenians killed in the massacres were casualties of war. Even Germany's Nazi regime did not publicize its exterminations of Jews and the other groups. In response, the first of the internationalities have argued that a pattern of purposeful actions, leading to the destruction of a significant part of the targeted group is enough to establish the genocide intent irrespective of the reasons the preparatory regime offered for these actions. Recent developments during the first 15 years after its ratification, the Genocide Convention lacked effective enforcement mechanisms, despite the fact that it contained provisions to enable the UN to enforce it. Although the convention stipulated that persons charged with genocide should be tried before an international penal tribunal or a tribunal of the states in which the crime was committed. No permanent penal tribunal exists at the international level until the early 21st century, and prosecutions at the domestic level were unlikely except in the rare case where a genocide regime was overthrown and its officials were prosecuted by a successor regime. To finish, my personal opinion is that it's a very strong topic, and I think that actions like this should not even exist. But each head is a world, and there is a lot of diversity. However, it seems terrible to me that things like that happen. Thank you for attention.